What's up, people? Welcome back to Invest with T Claus. My name is Tevi, and this channel is dedicated to my investment journey, along with coverage on crypto, Tesla, Nio, Virgin Galactic, and ChargePoint. Come for the information and stay for the perspective. You'll have to excuse my voice as I'm coming down with a cold, but the show must go on, so smash the like button if you appreciate the dedication. The third quarter has ended and earnings season is kicking off next week. This means that once again, it's time for the full transparency update on my Robinhood portfolio. But before we get into it, there are a few notable things to cover. Both Nio and Tesla released their Q3 numbers over the weekend. First up is Tesla, and no surprise, they crushed expectations. You can see the numbers on the screen there. This translates to a 20% quarter-over-quarter increase, while the rest of legacy auto is on a decline. On a year-over-year basis, this is a 73% increase and a total of just over 627,000 vehicles delivered year to date. Not to be outdone, Nio also beats delivery guidance with 24,439 vehicles delivered. That's a 100.2% year-over-year increase in a total of just over 66,000 vehicles delivered year to date. Virgin Galactic was cleared by the FAA to fly again as they close the investigation into the Unity 22 flight. The last thing Virgin Galactic needs to do is wrap up the safety checks related to the vendor defective part issue. I expect they'll communicate a solid date fairly soon, with the Unity 23 flight currently expected to take place somewhere in mid to late October. Last but not least, all giveaway winners in celebration of the channel passing the 100 subscriber mark have been contacted. Accounts that were impersonating winners have also been reported to YouTube. All right, so with all that said, let's dive into today's content. We'll look at my account performance versus the broader market over the past 3 months, then discuss what adjustments I've made and the why behind it, and close with my strategy moving forward, as well as my year-end target for the account. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start by grounding ourselves on how the market has performed overall during Q3. And to do that, we'll take a look at the respective returns for the three major indices, namely the SP 500, Dow Jones, and NASDAQ. The SP 500 managed a 0.86% gain despite all the volatility. The Dow Jones saw a decline of 1.32%. And finally, the NASDAQ saw a decline of 0.50%. This quarter was definitely a tough one. I've covered the various macro reasons that contributed to the sideways action, and in some instances, the downward pressure. Now, let's take a look at my account specifically. In case anyone ends up wondering, the quick disclaimer here is that the total account value is fluctuating between frames, and that's simply because crypto never sleeps. So starting with the weekly view, at the lowest point, I was down by 4.59% or $4,450.78, dropping the account below the six-figure mark. I did manage to close the week with an 8.49% gain or $8,185.74 for a current account value of $104,614.40. Going to the monthly view, I have a net account decrease of 11.90% or $14,132 even. Now moving on to the full quarter view, which is what we care about, we see a decrease of $6,487.16 or 5.65%. The highest point was reached on September 6th, worth just over 122.5 thousand, call it, for a gain of 10.51%. The lowest point was reached on July 16th, where the account had lost 27.75% of its value and was worth just over $80,000. So what's the verdict? With a 5.65% drop this quarter, one could say that I underperformed the market, but more on that in a moment. For anyone new to the channel, this is probably a great time to note that I am not a financial advisor, and this therefore only represents my approach based on the risk level I'm willing to tolerate. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about the adjustments I've made this quarter, and then we'll answer the question of, did I underperform or outperform the market? So I temporarily trimmed my Nio position by 100 shares that I've since repurchased. I've increased my Tesla and Virgin Galactic holdings slightly, doubled my ChargePoint holdings from 200 to 400 shares, started a new position with Hive Blockchain, increased my Bitcoin holdings, and reduced my Dogecoin and Ethereum. So as it stands, my Robinhood account is comprised of 5 stocks and 3 cryptocurrencies. I'm pretty comfortable with the price movement in each one of them and their future trajectory. Now, let's talk about why I made those changes, and starting with Nio, the stock was trending down, and when it became clear that we would likely head below $40, I decided to trim 10% of my holdings and redistribute those profits elsewhere. This allowed me to increase both my Tesla and Virgin Galactic position and buy back my Nio shares at a discount. ChargePoint had momentum traders in the stock, and when it became apparent there that the infrastructure build would not happen right away, the stock sold off. That was the perfect time for me to buy in heavier and average down on my position in the process. The goal is to, again, for me, hold 1,000 shares. And so long as we are at these low levels, so call it $24 and under, I will continue to buy at a regular interval and average down. Moving on to Hive blockchain, just like with Riot and Mara, which I recommended at the start of the year, I expect a significant run up in the Hive stock price once Bitcoin returns to its previous all-time high. My expectation there is that I could see a 3 to 5 time return on my investment. And if Bitcoin was to go beyond the $65,000 to call it $100,000, which is what I expect, that could even be a 10-time return on my investment for Hive blockchain. So we'll see how it all plays out, but that's why I made the move. For Bitcoin specifically, I had bought some extra Ethereum to allow me to convert those into Bitcoin down the road once Ethereum returned near its all-time high of $4,000. And that's exactly how it played out. And when we get there, I trimmed that position, moved it into Bitcoin, which allowed me to bump it up. Finally, on the last run of Dogecoin, I was able to trim that position and redistribute those gains to further advance my positions into Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, and Polygon. Each one of those is currently staked and earning me some passive income on top of the price appreciation that they've all seen. If you remember during my Q2 review, I told you that I expected the portfolio to reach a new all-time high once the crypto bull run resumed. Well, Q3 was a lot of sideways trading action, as you can see on the 3-month chart. So to wrap up the quarter with a 5.85% drop in the account value, while still managing to hit an average of 100% return on my combined Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, and Polygon positions, I'd say is a win. So to bring it all back together and answer the question of, did I underperform or outperform the market? Well, on a quarterly basis, I would say that I did underperform. But if we look at a year to date on a relative basis, the SP 500 has seen the most gain out of all 3 major indices with a 16% return. My current year-to-date return sits at 23.5% on Robinhood alone. So I would say that as it stands, year-to-date, I'm still outperforming the market. So where do I go from here? Well, I set a year-end target of $150K for my Robinhood account. From the current levels, that's a $45,000 climb. Seems like a big number, but there are actually a few ways to get there. One potential scenario would be to have both Nio and Tesla return to their respective all-time high, while everything else stays at current level. With what's ahead for Nio and Tesla, that is a very likely outcome. Then add to that the fact that crypto has very limited downside risk at this point, in my opinion. And the reason is this. China, which arguably was the biggest risk to crypto, has already banned it completely multiple times. There's no more banning that can be done to affect the market. The US via Fed Chairman Jay Powell has confirmed that they have no intention to ban Bitcoin or crypto in general. Regulation will come, and we should know where the SEC stands on the mini Bitcoin ETF approvals as early as November. Meanwhile, Canada and Europe have been embracing the crypto economy with continued investments and services being rolled out. I could keep going, but the point is this. TradFi, or traditional finance, is in the middle of a massive upgrade. Blockchain technology is at the core of bringing that entire sector into the 21st century and truly support a global economy with real-time transaction settlement. That is precisely why you see Visa making moves like creating their Universal Payment Channel, which is a blockchain interoperability hub. This will allow the Visa network to connect to multiple blockchain networks and enable transfers of digital assets from different protocols and wallets. I've said this before, but it's worth repeating again, that the future of finance will be interoperable. It's not about one network winning over the other, but rather about centralized and decentralized networks connecting and seamlessly interacting with one another. Now, that all sounds great, but there's obviously always the unforeseen, which is why I'll continue to pay attention to the macro environment. But the plan moving forward will remain unchanged, and that is to continue to be opportunistic and take advantage of those red days when I can, as long as the overall trajectory continues to be upward. And on that note, this is it for my Q3 performance review. Overall, I'm happy with the account performance this quarter. I'm still above the 6-figure mark. I was able to start new positions that should help me continue to scale up. And ultimately, on a year-to-date basis, I'm still outperforming the market, which is why I set out to manage my own portfolio. If you have any questions about what I shared today, leave them in the comment below and I'll get to them. If you made it to the end of the video and enjoyed the content, smash the like button if you haven't already, as it greatly helps the channel grow. For my newcomers, remember to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future content. As a reminder, I post every Sunday and now on most Thursdays for crypto-focused content. Thank you for watching, stay humble, hustle hard, and I'll see you in the next one.